right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Dollar Bin Digging. This is the video and article that I do for comicbookinvest.com, where I talk about those cheap books that are still tucked away in those dollar bins, those discount boxes, wherever you find your cheap comics, whether they be at yard sales, half-price books, flea markets, at your LCS, etc. These are the cheap books you can probably still grab based off of some of the recent news, rumors, announcements, things going on in the comics, etc. These are just stories that have jumped out to me. In the comic community, in the comic world, that make me think of books that we can go and grab and look for in those cheap boxes, kind of like a scavenger hunt kind of thing. So hopefully you're enjoying this as well as everything else here in the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel as we are on our way to 3K. And if you want to see what books I got for you this week, just hang on for a few seconds and I'll be back with this week's stories right after the intro. Okay, so first up, this is something we talked about in the news, I think yesterday, or comic reviews, etc. The look ahead for On the Radar. That's what it was, on the tax show. That's where I brought this up, and I said we'd be talking about this on Dollar Bin Digging. And here we are, Children of the Vault. So Fall of X is pitting Cable and Bishop up against this, the greatest threat to mutant kind, the Children of the Vault. Now, these characters showed up a while back, but we are getting a new mini-series from them starting this week. So, coming out this week, not a lot of covers, but starting this week, we'll see how this mini goes. But if you want this crew's first appearance, maybe not this identical crew, but the original Children of the Vault, that's way back in X-Men 188, the adjectiveless X-Men number 188. Oh, almost stumbled over that one, but this is the one that started with the Jim Lee number 1, not Uncanny. This is the X-Men run. So 188, this is the Chris Bacalo run on this as far as the art goes. Really cool. Like the insides on this as well. This is actually a wraparound cover for this first issue, so we'll take a quick look there. You can see, all right, nice little wraparound here. That's pretty cool. Inside, some of these characters are not named yet, but they are all introduced over a couple of panels and a few pages. So we're getting the crew kind of interspersed, here throughout the story as them showing up, as this is part 1 of Supernovas. So it's part of this story that was introducing them. Now, this book already sells a tiny bit, not a ton, but a little bit. Copies have sold for as cheap as like $5-6 up to like $12 recently. And then we look at some asking prices, $8, $10, $15 could be the ask on this, as this is, again, the first Children of the Vault, etc. So keep an eye out for this one, as well as the variant version of this, which is a sketch version of this cover here. You see, just a black and white sketch variant edition. This one isn't as easy to find. I don't know if this was a ratio. If it was, I don't know what the ratio was, but it does sell for a bit of a premium, as you can see here, with copies of this selling for $20 to $50 raw. And then, is that a 9.8 selling for 140, or is that a 9.6? Graded copy. Let's just say I can't see it very clearly. It's kind of small on my screen, but graded copy selling as well. Asking prices for this thing, once again, $40 to $50 raw, 9.4 looking for like $70. It is definitely more sought after. Oh, it is calling it a 1 in 25 sketch, so I guess this is a 1 in 25. Now, you might not find this in a dollar bin, but it's just something I just wanted you to be aware of while we were going through this list. So keep an eye out for the regular, but there is this sketch, apparently 1 in 25. Now, apart from them being interspersed throughout this story, you might want to keep an eye out for the rest of the run, again, the Supernova series, but additionally, the next issue, just because we get them kind of all together lined up once again, and this is in 189, doesn't hurt to go and grab this as well, because, you're not going to get those arguments once again of cameos in full, etc. This is a team appearance as well. Well, this is the first time we got them all actually together in the comic right at the start of this issue 189, because like I said, they were kind of scattered throughout that other issue. Here they are all together. More get proper introductions here to some of the characters' names, etc. too. So doesn't hurt to go and look for this one when you're digging in the boxes too. Now, 189 has been selling for as cheap as $2 to $3, $4, etc. Asking prices $3, $4, $7. Definitely not an expensive book. And I'm not saying this is the first. I'm not saying this should be expensive. I'm just saying this is a cheap book that you could probably find for cheap in a box to go and package with that 188. So get the 188, get the 189. Hell, get the whole, I think it's a 6-part Supernova series if you can, because it doesn't hurt. Plus, you can read it. You can open it up and you can actually read the stories. Who would have thought? That said, that's our first story for today. Our next story, we're going to go shift on over here to Marvel Studios apparently was looking to do a Daughters of Liberty project prior to the strikes. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if this is like serious that they really were considering, or it's one of those stories that was like, you know what? If it wasn't for the strike, we'd be getting this. I don't know. I don't know the legitimacy of if this were coming or not coming. We've heard the rumors before. We heard the A-Force rumors, etc. So it's not that far out of left field if they were to have done something with the Daughters of Liberty, because a lot of the characters do exist in the MCU with Misty Knight, etc. We're getting like a White Tiger soon. Yes, we don't have the Invisible Woman yet, but rumor has it she could have been cast today. We don't know. We'll see. But this is also a book that has been spec'd on before for other various reasons. So we're bringing it back. So since it got forgotten about for a while, you might be able to go and dig it out of those cheap boxes. First, we're going to start with the regular comic. This is the regular first print edition, Captain America #7 from 2019. So it's a few years old. Cap of Nothing, Part 1. Pretty cool Alex Ross cover here as well. Inside, final page splash, you get the introduction to the Daughters of Liberty rise to meet it. Here they are. All right. Inside, last page kind of splash. How much does this sell for? Well, $5, $10, $11 seem to be the recent copies. Asking prices are more in that $12 to $26 range. So there are some higher asks out there, but see what you can find, see what you can get. Just keep an eye out for it. You never know. You never know what you might find when you're digging in those back issue bins. See if you can find something for cheap. Now, as you might have recognized, that final page splash, that is the cover for the second print, which again got a lot of buzz a while back. This thing went up pretty high for a time, and there are still some high asks. But this is the second print. It is a reprint. Still, keep that in mind. I get it. People like it because it's, well, they're on the cover. It's their first appearance. It's like, well, yeah, technically their first appearance was in the first print. This is a reprint that came months later. It's not really the first time we saw them. We saw them already. This is just, anyway. Don't want to get into the semantics of second prints and first print, first appearances, etc. But just saying, just be mindful of your money. Copies can sell as cheap as, look, $8 one sold for. That's pretty cheap, but copies also still sold for $30 to $40. So there is still some interest in this second printing with them on the cover as well. So keep an eye on that. I know we've talked about this cover before on one of the other shows. I think it was probably Hidden Gems as far as second printings go. I probably brought this up because I know I've talked about this book before, but it doesn't hurt to mention it again. Asking prices, $30 to $50 raw, and then there's an auction going on right now that's only at like $12. We'll see that where that one ends, but that's just the kind of idea of the prices you're looking at if you could find this book out there. I've looked. This is a tough find. I will admit it. This is a tough one to find, this second printing, unless you want to pay for it, obviously. But, doesn't hurt to know. It doesn't hurt to know it's out there. Doesn't hurt to be aware of it and be aware of the pricing. So, good luck. Let me know if you find any of these books, any of the books on the list. Let me know. Tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see it. Now, we got the new trailer for Loki. Season 2. It's coming. It's coming pretty soon. I think in a couple of months, right? But inside this, and this could be a possible spoiler, people are looking at, apparently there was something like a movie poster or something listed that we might be getting this oddball Thor villain in this series. So in Loki, we might be getting this guy here, Braniac. Yeah, it looks like a hippie green, Hulkish kind of guy, knockoff Scooby-Doo monster villain. I don't know. But Braniac apparently could be showing up. This is the kind of thing you can go dig in those boxes because I get it. Some of the Thor back issues can be sell for a lot, but a lot of Thor issues are just tucked in those cheap boxes. You know it. I know it. They may not be in the best of shape, but it doesn't hurt to go and look for $3.19 with Braniac right there on the cover. Looks like like I said, a Mr. Hyde Scooby-Doo villain of some kind attacking Thor. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens and if this character actually does show up in Loki. Because again, this is just kind of rumor right now, speculation, whatever. Doesn't hurt to go and dig books like this out for fun, though, for cheap. So while you're digging, maybe you come across this. Copies have sold based off of this news for like $6, like up to $12. Not really expensive yet. Asking prices in that same kind of range, like $9 to $15. There are some $20 plus asks, but right now, this is villain spec after all. Could be a minor, quick appearance. We don't know. but doesn't hurt to go and look for it in those cheap boxes. I'm not telling you to go pay these market prices. I'm telling you to go look for it in the cheap boxes and see if you can go dig one out for fun. But keep an eye out for that Zaniac. Going back a bit, like we already talked about the well, actually, it was on the top 10 and 10. I was talking about the Beat the Scrolls because of Gaia and what happened in the end of Secret Invasion. Spoiler alert, that show ended. But we're going to go back a little bit to a reveal from a couple of weeks ago about Rhodey, that Rhodey has been a Skrull. And there was some explanation in a recent story that was explaining why they gender swapped the Skrull. So it was actually a female Skrull pretending to be Rhodey. Like it matters. I mean, they're shapeshifters. Like, who cares? But so that's kind of the idea of why they did it. They're like, hey, why not? Why couldn't a female, like, you could, pretend to be a man? Yeah, exactly. Why not? Who cares? But the character that they did use is actually a gender swapped character from the comics, which is this Skrull named Rava, if I'm saying it right. So Rava, if you're interested, even though she doesn't make it out of this series, so we're not going to see a big MCU future. I think the male counterpart, I don't know, I'm not sure if he's still kicking around in the Marvel comic universe, but in the comics, it is a male Skrull. This Rava, it's like a pirate something or other. He was locked up in this prison from Black Bolt #1, because that's the first appearance. Black Bolt #1, pretty awesome cover here as well. This is that 2017 series, I think, is when this came out. Black Bolt was in prison. Kind of a cool story, kind of a fun little run. There's a pretty cool Paul Pope variant on this #1 as well. It's an incentive, but inside the guts of this book, you get like a unnamed, I guess you'll call it a cameo appearance of Rava right there behind Crusher Creel. So in this, that's all you're getting in this issue 1. So keep that in mind as well when you're buying this first appearance of Rava, if you're that interested in doing it. I'm just saying, keep an eye out for this book in the dollar boxes, because Black Bolt #1 has been selling okay, right? So copies are sold for $12.50, $10. A couple of issues was it issues 1, 2, and 3 for $10. So they can go for cheap in lots, individually $10 to $12. Ain't too bad if it's a book you can go pick up for $1. That's all I'm saying. Asking prices on this $8, $15, up to $19, thereabouts. So it can go up to anywhere from like $10 to $20 is what you're looking at potentially for a Black Bolt #1. And yeah, first appearance of Rava in there. But as I said, it's just that one panel, unnamed in the background. It's not until issue 2 here, which is another pretty cool cover. So keep an eye out for this one as well. Doesn't hurt. You're digging in the cheap boxes. Doesn't hurt to grab 2 of them for $1 a piece. Why not? But inside this, there's more. But I'm going to show you the one panel where you're getting introduced to Rob, and they're going to go to battle here with the swords. So pretty cool. This is more of a fruitful, I guess. We're going to get all these terminology out there. To me, it doesn't matter. I just want to show you what's in the book and tell you what's in there. Last issue, unnamed, one panel appearance. Here, you get a little bit more in issue 2. Doesn't hurt to go and buy both if you can find them. So copies of issue 2 sell for basically nothing. $1.25 one sold for. There are some lots that had this in there as well, but I just showed you the one $1.25 sale. Asking prices, there is still another copy there for $1.25, $4, $5. It's a very cheap book. It's cover price or less. So that's what I'm talking about here. Doesn't hurt. Again, I don't think there's any future positioning for Rava to come back. It's just tying into the show. We saw a character. Yes, the character didn't make it out of the show, but hey, if you want to know where their first appearance was in comics, there you go. That said, going back to San Diego Comic-Con, we did get an announcement from Todd McFarlane that we are getting some more Spawn series. He mentioned Misery, another Gunslinger Spawn series is coming out, telling like his Civil War era story. I don't know. I don't know why we'll need 2 Gunslinger Spawn series, but we're getting them. But amongst that, I think Bleeding Cool also noted this, that there's going to be a series called, what was it, No Way Home or something? I think it's called like No Home, or anyway, it's going to be focusing in on like this one of this bad guy characters, this Billy Kincaid, or the last victim of Billy Kincaid. I don't quite get it yet of exactly what this tone of this story is going to be, but it seems weird, seems a little bit different, maybe a little dark, because this character was pretty dark. This Billy Kincaid, serial killer character, also it's not a good character. I'm not going to get into the whole storyline of what this guy got up to in the comics, but not a good guy. Let's just leave it at that. And with that, his first appearance was in Spawn #5. Old school Spawn. You know there's tons of these out there. I know you've seen them. they're not that expensive either. This is number 5. Yes, everybody still wants number 1, even though there's, what is it, a million plus copies of this. Well, there's close to a million of these first few issues as well, for Spawn. And yeah, many of them might be banged up, but keep an eye out for them, and keep an eye out for those newsstands too, because those newsstands do command a premium because people love getting them. But inside this Spawn number 5, we do get introduced to that Billy Kincaid character, as I mentioned there. So they're in prison. Sam and Twitch are in this as well. They're getting a series too. Also supposed to be part of the Spawn movie, if we ever get that, if they ever get back to making that or start making it, whatever. Who knows? But doesn't hurt. If you're looking, Spawn 5 is a book that's out there because there's a lot of them. And you can see it doesn't sell for all that much. Copies are sold for like $3 or $4. Yeah, $20 for a lot. There's some random issues in there. Best offer on $6.75. So again, not an expensive book. Asking prices $5, $10, up to $24. Some people ask a bit more, but realistically, look, $5, and that one for $10 is a newsstand too. So, like I said, keep an eye out for the newsstand because it might get you a little bit more if you find one. Doesn't hurt. And with that, I got one more for you. We're going to hop on over to DC now for our last story. And this is just rumor, speculation that Braniac might be the big bad in the Superman Legacy movie. With all those characters that they're listing as going to be in this movie, all these cameo appearances, I guess, I don't know, with Metamorpho, etc., Hawkgirl, whatever. We're getting a lot. There's going to be a lot in this movie, a lot to unpack. But I'm interested if we do get Brainiac. Like, sure, Lex will be cool to have, but I've always liked Brainiac as a villain. I was waiting for Henry Cavill to face off against Brainiac, but we never got it. But this was based off some tweets I think Gunn sent out of some comic books that he mentioned as inspiration, talking about Superman Birthright, which I know we looked at before, All-Star Superman, which is another series you can look out for that too in those dollar boxes. Secret Origins, I think, might have been mentioned. If not, that's another one I think you should still go and read to kind of prepare you for this legacy story. But apart from that, they also mentioned this Action Comics run starting with 866, which was a Brainiac story, which is where the speculation for Brainiac being the villain is coming from, because this run on Action was kind of, name dropped in some of the inspiration here. So, Jeff Johns, Gary Frank, this is also a really good run, fun read. Doesn't hurt to go and find all of these if you can. This is 866, the first part, and you got 67, 68, 69 is that beer, recalled cover where then they switched to soda pop. Still an awesome cover either way, but I still don't understand why two grown men can't have beers together. Like, why did they have to change to soda pop? Like, Clark can have a beer with his dad, can he? Anyway, whatever. That's 869, and then the final issue, 870, actually has two covers, so keep an eye out for both. It's just, I think, just like a B variant. It doesn't sell for like a bunch more or anything like that, but I wanted to show you both so you know what you're looking for. And with that, this whole lot can do okay if you package them together, but keep an eye on those cheap boxes, because look, they can sell as cheap individually as like $2.50 to $5 a piece, and then the whole set, the whole run is like $30. So again, it's not super duper expensive. You probably find the trade paperback if you just want to read it, but keep an eye out for the the books in those dollar bins. Again, individual issues. Like, I'm kind of spotlighting the first one there with $4 to like $8, but like $30 really is what you're looking at if you get the whole set. So if you can go and dig all 6 of these out of a dollar bin, you got $6, you're into it. You can sell it for 30. That ain't too bad either. But but that's what I got for you this week. Hopefully you found that interesting. Hopefully you find some of these books when you're out there digging. Hopefully you think these are kind of cool things to go and look for. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. I got a couple of more I had to trim because I was like, you know what? Some of these are really tough finds in dollar bins. Like, you guys are probably not going to be finding Captain Marvel 34 First Nitros in the dollar bins anymore. I know I found it there before, but that was 5 years ago because I thought about that one because the Nitro is the big bad in that Captain Marvel Dark, whatever the heck it's called. And they got a pretty cool homage cover to Nitro's first appearance coming next week, too. So I thought about putting that one in here. I also thought about putting in a couple other books as well, but this is the package that I came up with at the final list. So hopefully, again, you found it helpful. And with all that rambling aside, please check out everything else here on the channel. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Add to the numbers that we have here, as we are on our way to 3K. And when we reach it, we'll do another big giveaway. With that all said, I've talked enough for today. I'll see you guys soon with some more content. All right, later.